What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Smash JT. EA has held their E3 press conference, and for the most part, it was a complete snooze fest, save for a couple of moments, but the biggest one being Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, one of those games that a lot of people, including myself, have been looking forward to for a very long time. And after watching the trailer, I'll be honest, I'm sold on the game, but I'm still not gonna pre-order it. JT. Let's get one thing clear. Respawn Entertainment, the company that's putting this game together under the umbrella of EA, is a class act company. They have made Apex Legends, they're working on Season 2 and a ton of additions to it finally, hopefully to bring back the migrating player base to Apex Legends, and they're also working on Star Wars Jedi: The Fallen Order. And everything they've done in the past, if you look back at Titanfall 2 and a slew of other high quality games they've made, there's no reason to not trust what they're making to be something fantastic. But remember, they are owned by EA, and unfortunately, a lot of the decisions that are made, even though Respawn is kind of running on its own away from EA, I still have a ton of concerns as to how EA is going to impact the microtransactions of this game. You knew I was going to go there, but it's EA, it's kind of obvious, it's not just me. A lot of people are going to be wondering about this, if not now, at least in the near future, because when they showed off Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, they didn't talk about microtransactions. They just showed it as a single-player experience going through this adventure after Star Wars 3 in between 3 and 4 episode, and it was good. The environment was fantastic, the battles, everything looks so perfect. I am very excited about the game, and yes, I will probably end up buying it down the road after we find out about the microtransactions, making sure that they don't overly impact the single-player campaign. I don't want to ever support a game from EA until I fully know the surrounding circumstances before giving them some money. It's something that I wish more people would take that approach with anything that touches EA. Even if it's Respawn, who's far away from EA, it's still a dotted line touching them, and that in itself is scary. As far as what I'm looking forward to with Star Wars Fallen Order, look, it's gonna be great, I'm sure it'll be fun, but I have a slew of other games that I still need to get to in my backlog before I even worry about adding this one to the pile. And there has to be some major assurances from Respawn and EA that nothing is going to impact the experience. If there's paid DLC, fine, but let's make sure the actual adventure that you buy is a full-fledged campaign, a game that is completed at the beginning, not launching like Anthem with a promised roadmap that gets canceled and they promise more down the road and then they cancel that too, and then you're left with spending $60 on a game and having the shell of an experience with the promise that someday it will be completed. Let's hope that this Star Wars game doesn't go down that scary road. As of the 15 minutes of footage that they showed, it looked like a pretty complete experience. The actual battles, having the robot on your back that can heal you, going through and fighting the enemies, the stormtroopers, and slowing down time at the moment when they picked up the stormtrooper and moved him in front of a bullet because they slowed down time. I'll be honest, my jaw kind of dropped a little bit when I watched that. I was like, damn, this game is going to be really, really good. So yes, I am very excited about the game. I'm looking forward to it, but that doesn't remove any concerns that I have being attached to EA. And honestly, just kind of a rule of thumb that I have in my gaming life is, if EA is a part of the game, I do not pre-order it. Ever. I don't care how they try to sell it to me. I don't care what promises they make. I need to see the reality because I've been lied to one too many times by them. Star Wars is said to be coming out in November 2019, and that is going to be a very crowded month with heavy hitters. You got Pokemon Sword and Shield, Death Stranding, Gears of War 5, along with Stadia and a slew of other second-tier games that are also going to be coming out in that time frame. So yeah, Star Wars looks fantastic. Looks like a game that is a must play, a contender potentially for Game of the Year. But still, with the games that we have to play alongside everything else that's coming in November, and seeing as this is attached to EA, it just seems to be pushed out of the equation when it comes to how many games can I possibly fit into my day while spending money out of my wallet on them. Now, EA, if you guys want to send me a copy in advance, sure, I'll take a look at it. I know you won't because I'm too small of a channel, but honestly, that's what we need to do, is get more people actually playing the game to be able to tell their audiences if it's something worth playing, if you trust them, if you trust Respawn with this game and you're not a corporate shill for EA, just saying it's great because they're buddy with you and giving you advanced copies of the game. We need some honest truths about this Star Wars game. I'll be keeping a close eye on it, and like I said, yeah, assuming it all measures up to exactly what they promised in this E3 presentation, you bet your ass I'll be playing the hell out of this game. But there's still a lot to be done between here and there before we get to that point. As far as the rest of EA's E3 conference, it was kind of a snore fest. They talked about some Apex Legends editions, which was pretty cool, but then they talked about Madden and FIFA, and I fell asleep halfway through it. It was so dry and boring. Eventually talking about some Sims updates and tying it all in with Pride Month, and fantastic. It was great. But here's the thing with EA. They were so boring with how they went about the presentation and forcing people to clap in these awkward cringe moments of saying, yeah, hey, you guys are excited about this? Come on, clap, clap. Look, people will clap if they're genuinely excited about something. Don't tell people to clap when you're doing a live presentation about a game. If it's not blowing them away, it's gonna be pretty awkward when you tell them to clap and no one does, which happened multiple times during their presentation. EA has failed a few times with their presentations, more so in recent years that have passed, especially last year's. Yikes, there's like 25 minutes playing a Command & Conquer mobile phone game on stage. That was a big no-no. They learned a little bit from that and didn't go as cringy and awkward this year, but it still was not a good presentation. It was boring overall, save for the Star Wars stuff they talked about right at the beginning. EA could take a lesson out of what Nintendo does with their directs, and instead of making this a full-on marketing blitz, they could say, here, this is what we got, this is what we're excited about, present it to the end users in that facet, and move on with their lives. Unfortunately, they use this as an opportunity to advertise the hell out of their games that are really laced heavily with microtransactions. I'm looking at you, FIFA and Madden. The games look good, but what's different about these? Besides the year at the end of it? Doesn't look like very much. I'll be honest with you. I'm not very excited about a FIFA or Madden game. I have not been in years. Have I played them? Yeah, I play them sparingly. They're fun to play with buddies. But honestly, to me personally, any Madden game is fun to play. It doesn't have to be the newest one for me to care about it. And I'm wondering why so many people keep falling for that whole Madden and FIFA, the next year one, we have to get the new one because it's new. Not because it's better, not because there's anything really changed or different about it outside of the names on the back of some of the jerseys. Just because it's new, they need to get these games. And that in itself is concerning for the entire gamer industry at large. But anyways, circling back to what EA did right, because I want to focus on the positives here, because positivity sells! Okay, normally it doesn't, but in this case, I'm excited about Star Wars. I have a lot of concerns, and I'm not pre-ordering the game. But I am going to be watching it closely, and most likely going to be buying it within the first weeks of release, assuming it is on par with what they say it is. And being an EA game, even coming from Respawn, if you wait a few weeks, who knows? There's a good chance it's going to be 50% off anyways, so what's the harm in not pre-ordering a game in this era? Everything is eventually available. You don't have to worry about it selling out like back in the day. So yeah, approaching this very cautiously optimistic, but still very cautiously. That's where I stand with EA, their entire presentation, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Looks fantastic, very excited about it, but tempered expectations. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'd be very interested from your perspective. Are you gonna pre-order the Star Wars game? Is this something that's a day one purchase no matter what? Or are you more in my camp where, even though it's not EA directly, it's Respawn, dotted line to EA, that you're very hesitant to dive head on into this game until you know all the facts about it? Let me know in the comments below. Very interested to hear where everyone stands on this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash
JJ.